Are you curious about a 0% down payment option when you purchase your house? Have you heard of USDA? Have you seen those billboards around town where they tell you you can buy a new construction house for 0%? We are going to dig into that and the real estate Twin Cities market at large. I hope you will stay tuned. I'm Erica Carlson with a boutique brokerage called Bricks Real Estate. I help people buy and sell real estate in the Twin Cities, of course, and I specialize in the Western Metro. If there's anything I can do, if you have any questions as you're watching this video, there is a link right here that you can click, and then you can pick the best time to talk if you want to just, pick my brain a little bit on any real estate questions that might be on your mind. And then to finish up before I move on to the big stuff, if you learn anything new today, I would love for you to join my growing communities, whether you're finding this on YouTube, my professional Facebook page, or Instagram. I would love to have you, and I do provide more information like this on a daily basis that hopefully will help you as you make your real estate decisions. So without further ado, I'd like to first dive into the data, and then we'll bring Molly on.
As we have a seasonal slowdown, really moving us from a sort of nice steady seller's market to a buyer's market. Now you can see the little star here on my screen. It's not a severe buyer's market. It's not 2008, 2009, but you will see on the right there, inventory's up over last year. So that is certainly helping buyers, not only with more choice, but then less competition for the same properties. Now, the thing that, of course, is the kind of the thing that we've had for a couple of years now, it's not new information, is that 7% interest rate. It's where it keeps hovering around. Some days it goes a little below 7, some days it goes a little bit above 7. Really depends on the day and hour you're calling and checking in. But that's about where you're seeing a 30-year fixed rate. Of course, different loan types, different situations, you're going to get different numbers. So it's just really important you're asking questions. And I'm always going to tell you guys, shop around, talk to a couple lenders before you pick the loan officer and the company that's best for you. Average days in markets at 25. I will show you Wright County here. It's been around that number for a long time. So let's change the screen and I'll zoom in a little bit more. Looking at July 10th, we're going to focus in on Wright County now, and our active or coming soon properties are sitting at 571. And if we just go back in time here a little bit, that means we are at the peak of our inventory options. And again, when you look back at the thing I just showed you, that graphic, we are up over last year. So this is a good time for shoppers to find properties. There's more options. Now, only a 513 of the 571 are available for purchase. So that means many of these are under some sort of contingency. Pendings has gone down. Not too terribly surprised to see that this number is now declining. We'll see what happens next week. And I should say I did skip last week. It was a holiday. My personal and professional life was absolutely crazy, so I did not have a chance to put data in. So we will have to watch and see if this is a trend, which I assume it will, because pendings are properties that have gone under contract, and we are in the summer market. It is July. We are dead in the center of summer. It is a slower time, so there will be less transactions. Now, closings is still up, right? So if we look back over time, this is a higher number. But of course, these people didn't just find their house yesterday, so maybe they went under contract late spring. So that makes sense. I always tell you guys my favorite data is the showings per week per listing for the 250 to 500K range. In just Wright County, we're at 2.1 and Hennepin's 3.1. So what does this mean in English? This means 2 showings per week per household in this price range is what they should be expecting. Hennepin's getting 3. This is very slow. This is very summer. It's also very indicative of our higher interest rates. It's just definitely like keeping people on the sideline. It is a misconception that like summer is like a super hot time to sell a house. And this shows you the data. The home shoppers come out in large in springtime, summer, fall, winter, slower. So it's not a bad time to sell a house. It's just you can't expect that mass amount of people coming out. There's just less people that focus on moving in the summer. obviously people move all year around, so nothing to be worried about if you need a house to sell. You just, again, can't expect springtime activity. Average days on market in our county is 19 for average, 15 for median. This is faster than 2 weeks ago, right? It's faster overall. So that might mean that the houses that are on the market are very attractive, priced really well, so they are getting they are getting offers faster than maybe our previous people. And, you can see it ebbs and flows over time. It's not like every week it's the same. And side note, I only look at pending properties for days on market. I do not look at everything because I don't want the ones that have been sitting to influence this. So overall, again, it is more of a buyer's market at this point in the Twin Cities at large. It is always slower in Wright County than it is in Hennepin County, but I share that with you guys every week. There is a noticeable difference, but the gap is less than it was 2 weeks ago or even before that. You can see really it's Hennepin County that stands out, that has had quite the slowing. It'll be interesting to see what happens as we continue on. As always, if you have any questions about this or a particular city or submarket, like if you have a townhouse or a condo, keep in mind these subsections, waterfront, these things do influence your market data. This is general data. This is a big picture view of the Twin Cities and these counties. It's not these particular markets. And I think that does influence things quite a bit. And don't underestimate that. And obviously work with an agent that you trust to help you understand the market conditions. If you're thinking about selling and buying, this is extremely important information.
Today, we are going to talk about USDA loans, 0% down program, really great option for a certain type of person. And we have Molly Zimmerman on here from Bell Bank Mortgage. And so I think the first question is what is it, Molly? What's USDA loan mean?
So USDA has an option that is a zero down loan program, and it's eligible for certain rural areas, but also the program does have income limits, but just like a nice option for people who may not have as much money to purchase a home. You get in with less money out of pocket. And then just the affordability piece, like the interest rates are pretty competitive. The private mortgage insurance piece is a little bit different, so you might end up with a better payment than you would on a conventional loan also.
Okay. And I understand, so there's income limits on the upper end that have to be considered. What are those?
Yeah, so USDA does look at total household income, whether we can use it for the actual loan approval or not. We have to consider it for meeting the income limits for the program itself. So in Wright County, like right now, the 1 to 4 person income limit is $138,300. And if you're a 5+, you can earn up to $182,550. But again, it's every person over the age of 18 that is in a household working. We have to get proof of their income to make sure that they fall within those income limits to be able to be eligible for the program.
Yeah, one thing I can tell everybody with confidence is it's between Rockford Township, not quite Buffalo, where it begins. So if you want to buy a house from about Rockford into the metro, that is absolutely not USDA territory. And then it continues west for sure. I just the first thing is, do you qualify for the loan? And then when we're out house shopping, we can determine whether that house is in that qualifying area before we get too excited about it. One thing we haven't talked about before, Molly, and I'm not going to say the builder's name, but there is a bigger, I think they are national builder that really likes to advertise, we can get you in a house for 0% down. It's not a trick. They're not doing anything fancy, and not to beat them up or anything, but really any property, if you qualify for the USDA loan in that territory, it's not just this one particular builder that likes to do billboards out in rural areas saying, hey, you can buy a house for 0% down. It's a common program. It's, I feel I'm not trying to be a jerk. It's just kind of a fact. It's like, it makes me laugh because it's like, well, it's just one of the options that anybody can have. But they kind of use it as a marketing ploy, like it's something special. And
right, like something special for their homes particularly, where it's like, well, technically it's right. That whole area, right?
And, we know there's other ways to find if you need help with down payment assistance. And let's say you're not interested in a rural property and you want to be closer to the metro. So you're kind of disappointed to hear that this is only for certain locales. What about Minnesota first time home buyer grant money? There's now is it called first generation grant money that's just coming out. There's particular cities that have grant money that we can tap into, whether it's for closing costs or down payment. So it's not like we're limited to this one loan package, right?
Right. And I mean, I think a couple things just to point out about USDA, probably why we don't see more buyers taking advantage of it is the approval requirements are a little bit more strict than your FHA and conventional. So sometimes like they really hold tight to like almost like a manual underwrite where, housing payment should not exceed around 29% of your monthly gross income. And also your total debts should not exceed around 41% of your monthly gross income. So in some cases, buyers might start with that USDA as like their choice for financing, but as they start to shop, it might make more sense for them to go into a conventional product or an FHA because they might have a little bit more approvability and can purchase at a higher limit.
Yeah, and I think the other thing we didn't mention is it can take longer from start to finish, not for the approval on the front side, but once you find a property, we should build more time into from the day you get an accepted offer to the day it closes. And I don't know why, but we typically, I guess I don't know exactly why it takes a little bit longer, but it's just a fact. And so you want to assume it's going to be about 45 days just to play it safe. Am I correct?
Yeah, and Erica, the reason why we need a little bit more time on USDA is because as a lender, we can approve the file in-house, but we still need time for the appraisal to get back, the underwriting process to be done. And then once our loan is fully approved, we have to send it to USDA for their commitment. We can't close until we have the USDA commitment. And it's a government agency. We have zero control over their turn times. So we're kind of at their mercy from the time we send them a file. We don't know how long it's going to take for them to give us the stamp of approval to close. That's why we build in that extra time, just to make sure we've got enough time to get through the whole process.
Okay, that makes sense. And it's good to explain that to everybody because it is confusing, like why one type is longer or shorter. So whether it's FHA, USDA, VA, these are government backed loans. And so sometimes we just build in a little bit more time for the things that you just mentioned. Well, I think we'll stop there. If you guys have any questions about any type of loan program or these down payment assistance, refi, etc., Molly's here to answer these questions for you. She's happy to take your call. An easy way to remember how to reach her other than the link I'm sharing on the screen is go to mollyzimmerman.com. And whether it's her or myself, we welcome discovery conversations, just meaning like you're just curious about things. It doesn't mean you have to commit. We're happy to be a resource to you.
Absolutely. I agree with Erica. Thank you for having me again.
All right. Have a great day.